Hi, welcome to the this currently recording episode of Butter What. This is filmed in front of a live YouTube audience. There's some of them are chatting over here, and I think on this episode we've got some 3D printing stuff to talk about here on May the 4th, 2021. What do you think,
I think
Brian?
that sounds fantastic. This seems to be a, a major topic of conversation for us every single week.
It does, and it's my fault. I've learned that I have so many things I subscribe to in my feeds and on Reddit and on Twitter. Or there's just too much 3D printing. So I said, "Oh, we need to talk about this and this
Well,
and
and
this." And we've got
one of the I guess one of the neat things about 3D printing is it takes so long and you anticipate it so much. You'll start a print and then you listen to it for hours, and even if even if you're not fixated on it, it's a constant reminder that it's going and you're looking forward to it. So, when I've got a 3D print going, I'm giving Pat a play-by-play in Google Hangouts or in Discord saying, "Oh, it's 30% done."
he's
Yeah.
impatient.
Oh, I've never been
He
patient.
doesn't like anything that's not 2 days shipping. But May the 4th. This is Star Trek
Yes,
Day,
Star Wars Force Trek.
Star Wars Day, and the thing I thought of. I know you printed one of these a few years ago, 2 years ago,
Yeah,
three
right
years
when I
ago.
got the
Was the Fillenium Malcon on Thingiverse here. They can't have a Millennium Falcon. That's copyrighted. So this is the Fillenium Malcon. I think it prints in two
Yep.
pieces. Standing up. Do they have? Oh, geez. Yeah, here's one. Nope.
Yeah, it was one of the first things that I printed on my Mark III, my Prusa i3 Mark III. In fact,
Mark
I
three.
glued it together just last night. I was like, tomorrow's May the 4th. I need to have a prop.
Oh, it wasn't glued.
No, I just had it press fit.
So you didn't complete it. You started this print in, like 2018
Yeah,
or something, and you finished it
and it's
today. So
yeah,
that's
yeah.
nice.
Might have procrastinated a little bit. It's just been sitting on a shelf, safely pressed together, but not conjoined with
But you
glue.
couldn't handle it and show it
No,
to
like
us.
if I
It
picked it
would be.
up, it'd fall apart.
These things have been showing up on my feeds where people in my YouTube feed where people are trying to print Benchies faster and faster and faster. And for a few months, I've been hearing about this new. It's not that new anymore. These Voron 3D printers, and if you want to print your Fillenium Malcon fast, it seems like you need one of these Vorons. This is I can't see whose build it is because I have it full screened here. But this is most of these Voron, you can't just buy a Voron. There's kits, there's parts lists. It's an open source design, and this is printing at 300 and some odd millimeters per second with. And the part that makes it really fast on a small print like this is he's printing at, I believe, 20,000 millimeters per second acceleration, per second squared acceleration. Just to put that in perspective, the Prusa Mark III defaults to like 1250 millimeters per second. And I've pushed mine, and anything past about, getting into the 2000 some odd range, you start to get sloppy prints.
So a tenth is fast, or is it? It's less.
It's more, well, and it depends on how. I mean, he will never print a Benchy in 10 minutes. He doesn't print. He does it in about 11 and a half, I think. Here, and it's not a perfect print. It's not bad. This is ABS with a brim, I think, and you could see that. I'll pause it here. You could see it's got some troubles. It's got some issues. But if you needed a part fast, my goodness,
Yeah,
this would be
it's
fantastic.
it was the first time that you showed it to me. I looked at it and I said, "Wow, that's really fast." I mean, I don't. You say the numbers like 20. It's a really big number, 20,000. But seeing it actually moving around on the print bed and building something in 12 minutes. I mean, I I was half tempted today to slice a Benchy to see how long my slicer estimated it takes me to print it at the 1,000 that my printer's doing it.
Yep. It's a little
I mean,
while. It's not
it is not
fast.
fast. It's certainly not 12 minutes. I mean, I'm trying to
No.
think of, is there anything I've ever printed that's been 12 minutes?
They're very small
Very
things.
small.
I mean, I print little tiny things like those camera holders for
Yep.
my quad that are just little. They're only 10 layers high and they're really small. No, I looked up these printers. The parts list for a premium one is going to be somewhere between $1,000 and $2,000. So, starting at Prusa Mark III prices up to about double.
Fully
the Prusa Mark
fully
III.
assembled prices.
Yeah, it's $750 I think for Mark III
Okay.
kit, and then $1,250 after shipping
Yeah.
for $1,300 or something for a fully assembled Mark III. But then I don't buy it from here. I don't know who these people are. These 3D Printers Bay. This was just the first result. I saw this. I said, "Oh, it's $460," and it's not as exciting as it sounds. This is tiny. This is only, I think, 150 millimeters cubed, whereas the $2,000 ones tend to be a 300 millimeter
Okay.
cube, so way bigger. But I thought, well, this must be garbage. I figured this is just some random kit they threw together, junky parts to get a cheap price. And this you have to 3D print a whole mess of stuff to use this kit.
How do you make it if you don't already have a 3D printer?
You don't. That's a bummer, right? But then I figured this must be garbage. But then I saw on CNC Kitchen's YouTube channel here, he built one. He got his straight from AliExpress, and it did end up being about $450. And there's all the parts he had to print. He's only printing at 4,000 millimeters per second squared acceleration so far. But he says his goal is to get under 10 minutes. And we're going to edit some of this out here because
those are prints that came off of his printer? Because those are nice looking prints.
I wasn't sure. Those looked like the nylon parts that he used on the printer, so I didn't know if he printed them. Yeah, this part is printing at 4,000 millimeters per second in ABS. Acceleration. I keep talking about acceleration. I've seen a lot of people try to print faster by just bumping up their top speeds, the millimeters per second, which, the defaults are like on a Prusa are probably like 60 or 70 millimeters per second. And you can only bump those up so far before your acceleration is your limiting.
If you run out of road, it doesn't matter what your top speed is.
But I know he's got there's a finished one at 4,000 millimeters
nice
per second.
Print.
I think it's a fantastic looking print, and it's at least 3 times faster than anything I've printed. That's a fantastic ABS print. This I forgot his name. The guy with
Hulk,
the
right?
Hulk's
Purple
friend,
purple,
Thanos.
Purple Hulk.
But now you tell me the one. This is going to be $500, and I have to put it together. And it's really neat because I like the idea. I always push my printers as fast as they'll go because when I'm iterating on something, I want my turnaround times to be faster. If it takes an hour to print, that means every hour I can test fit something, try it again, over and over again. But if you get that down to 15 minutes instead of 60 minutes, you can make 4 changes per hour. That's fantastic. But I probably wouldn't buy the $500 one, right? I'd want the big this one, this $2,000 plus machine that this gentleman here has. But then if I want the $2,000 one, then I always think maybe I just really want if I'm printing stuff that much, maybe I want 5 Prusa minis to just be running off parts all day at a normal speed instead of trying to tune this in.
Yeah, that's an interesting choice that you'd have to make. I was telling you the other day, well, assuming that they would all fit on the bed, I would just print 5 of those things all at once at that speed, just 5 different iterations, and pick the area.
Yeah, the one with the right
the measurement that I'm.
Yeah, but sometimes it's not a measurement. Sometimes it's a curve or something you're trying to match, or it's just not quite right, or.
And knowing my luck, all 5 of my iterations would just pull up off the bed, and I'd have to start all over, and I wouldn't be any closer.
I hate it when that happens. That's the nice thing about being able. That's kind of the nice thing about that 150 millimeter build surface. That's probably about half as big as a Prusa Mark III. What's the surface area. The Prusa is like 220 by 210 or 230 by 210 or something. So it's more than half, but not. But geez, if you have to print these little parts,
they're no beating it. Yeah.
Size. Geez, I looked away and you were doing something weird, and I was confused.
You did
That
a good
was all
job.
right.
No, I think that went well.
I got to take one more sip of coffee.